Welcome back to Nelson Leaf Online. Much is made of the injustice in America's history. Much is made of the injustice against Native Americans or against African slaves. Much is made of the injustice against Appalachian coal miners and other workers who suffered under the thumb of authoritarian business. Much is made of the injustice suffered by Hawaiian nationals or Japanese internees during World War II, and those wrongfully persecuted under the Red Scare of McCarthyism. Some on the far left see these injustices as an indictment of the United States, condemning its political order, calling into question those who are loyal to its precepts. And some on the far right see any recognition whatsoever of these injustices as an attack on America itself, and some of these reactionaries even call honest history treason. I cleave to neither of these misguided extremes, and I say this: the tragedies of America's history are the very proof of its exalted values, for if those values were not worthy of praise, we as Americans would not look back on those moments where they were absent and condemn those tragedies as failures. Slavery was no failing to the Pharaoh's ethos, but we are embarrassed of that institution in our own history. The slaughter of whole tribes was considered no error to the hordes of Genghis Khan, but we lament such massacres in the origins of our own country. When the counts were overlords of feudal Europe simply because they held the wealth, this was no dark spot on their civilization, but we look upon such plutocracy with regret in America. And regret is a sign of moral growth and exists only where there are high standards which have not been met. The regret that fills American history is the very echo of America's greatness as a vision of civilization. We would not feel regret if we did not feel that we had fallen short, and we would not feel that we had fallen short if our guiding principles were not ambitious ones. When Americans complain about our own history, we are saying America is better than this. What could be a more faithful endorsement of American values? The failings in our history are testament to the fact that our principles are greater than we are, and whether you choose to believe that this is because they were inspired by divinity or manifest from some emergent trend in moral development, it matters very little. The fact is that we often fail to be Americans because the dream that is America is a dream so very hard to live up to. Now, those who always succeed only do so because they have set their goals comfortably low. To succeed too often is to fail to be bold. So when we look back on the great struggle for freedom and justice that is America, the fact that we have often missed the mark means that we have set ourselves an ambitious target. Those who feel no regret demonstrate only that they have learned no moral lessons and that they are not courageous enough to set high goals. For true Americans, our lofty and courageous ambitions as a civilization come hand in hand with the occasional remorse and the repentance which is the only way to redemption for our failures. Those on the right who refuse to recognize the failures are cowards, and those on the left who refuse to recognize that falling short of a moral target proves that the moral target is there are fools. Much is made of the failures in America's past, because we know there is much to be made better in America's future.